What's going on, everybody? So today is a new YouTube video, and we're gonna be trading. So, I mean, that sounded insanely fucking zesty, which is alright, I guess. But so we're gonna be going over on oil right here on this daily chart. We are completely bullish. We're looking for these buy side targets to be swept. That move was started over here, and I didn't like that, right? Because we left this low, this accumulation low, so I was honestly looking for that to be swept. So it looks like having some sort of seek or destroy. As price sweeps the buy side level, then is now trading within that sell side level. So what we'd like to see is that bottom portion of that fair value gap hold price. Price's expansion should not displace more from here, right? Because then we're just going lower, right? We're not really going higher. Okay, so that means, what does that mean? Well, that means that when we go on down to these lower time frame charts, if we're trading this on a 4 hour, we can up down to 15. We're looking for any change in state deliveries. So as market opens, if we sweep that level one more time, close above, that could be our entry. Okay, now hopping on something more important for us. This is NASDAQ. We're gonna turn this off and turn on our levels. This is what we're gonna be focusing on today. So on this 15-minute chart, obviously, as you can tell, right, we're not going to try to make something out of it when it's not. This is an accumulation, right? We have a obvious level as price is within this. Price is trading within this range, and it has been for a while. So I'm going to look for one side of this range to be swept, right? Whether it's that buy side or the sell side. Right, it can sweep either side, but I'm looking for one side to be swept, and then we'll see expansion, hopefully to the other side, right? Or so going into market, what that looks like, we're gonna just be watching those equilibrium levels. I found that insanely helpful to find expansion legs, right? So we're gonna target them. That's what I was gonna say. My voice right now, I feel like it sounds insanely annoying. Yep, so we'll be targeting that. So if you think about it, if anything, we're going short right now. I'm going to target this as my level. And yeah, we'll see if he gets hit. So right, going into here, that means we'd like to see this fair value gap hold. Also, when we look on the other indices, they're all relatively looking the same, right? Similar price action on most of these, right? With this, except RTY is a little bit different. Or no, I guess it's not. Right. Some of these, look at this. Let's just focus on this for a second. The second I look at that, nothing else comes to mind except for the fact that is kind of low resistance, right? So we do have that opportunity of like just running this liquidity. We'll see about that though. We have our true day open here, right? So we have this beautiful V-shaped recovery, right? This is my IFEG model, obviously, right? We get that accumulation here, sweeps out of it, V-shaped recovery, and you go long off of that. So yeah, I would be targeting that to hold. I would like that to see that help bullish expansion up higher, but we'll see. Obviously, when we go on to silver, we're looking for technically a trade to the downside, but the reality of that, I almost feel like, is a little bit lower probability, because yesterday we had a good amount of expansion, and today I feel like we maybe just could accumulate, but we'll watch. There's always chances that we don't. Gold sort of has that similar story where we swept into that daily fair value gap, right? If you don't know, this is inside of a daily fair value gap. So we want to see a quick reversal, but we'll see if we do. So on this chart over here, Well, we'll be keeping a little bit of oil, right, on that 15-minute chart. I would like to see something on that 30-minute chart. We close back in the range, just close higher. So this wouldn't be the type of so this wouldn't be the type of candle that we'd be looking to trade right here. We'll just continue watching NQ. As of right now, that looks like the cleanest. Right, if price is able to come back up into this level, that would be helpful. Right, seeing the move higher as creating a wick to go lower. It's very important. We gotta check what is the news schedule for today. All right, also some very important news. It's been a long road, but I finally passed. Dude, my throat is so fucked. I finally passed my funded account. I've had lots of trouble in the past with passing funded accounts, just due to the fact that inconsistent trading, bad habits, a lot of these different things. But in the end, it's just persistent hard work that helps you, and I'm just gonna keep working hard from here, because the day is definitely not done. I definitely see the highest probabilities when you just wait. And we have these 2 different days right here where we have really nice days, right, where we're trading with 1,000 profit. And these are the days that I'm making money, right? These days, 300, sure, I'm making money. 100, 18, 5, those aren't really the money days. There's specific days that make the most amount of my money, and that just comes from being patient, right? So as we go into this, it's going to be important to be patient, right? We're going to have a strict risk management portfolio. Okay, so 9:15 and 11, we do have technical news today, but we'll see if that leads us to anything. So as we come up into that level, right, you can imagine others selling. And selling isn't that bad of an idea. Selling does make sense. Here, I would sell this, right, on the 1-minute chart if there's a model. Like, price closes here. And you just short it. All right, we're waiting for market open there. So one thing I'm going to be focusing heavily on here is just the ranges. So even now we're in a trading range, which is that 0.5 level, and as you can see, price is coming in and it's being pretty bold the way it's closing within that level. So I would expect the low to be ran, right? This is that level. This is what, like, kind of this sort of psychology I'm going to bring into it. Remember, we're targeting this level, right? So we can even take this trade just because you're targeting that level, and I think that would work, especially now. Louis Sandals crazy hose scandalous. All right, we're waiting for market open here. All right, as we come into market open there, I would expect this to be ran, right, because that's just liquidity. That would make sense. So we all have the probability where, we all have the opportunity, right, that there's all of these liquidity targets, right? Look at all of these stops that could be ran. This is going to be a great liquidity run to the upside right here. This should all be taken out, but I do think that we should tap into some potential true day open there. All right, that would be the most high probability. All right. Okay, so that does work. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. Is that my target? Oh, okay, so that's equilibrium of the range, right? I don't know why I was thinking equilibrium of the range was right here. Okay, equilibrium there, yeah. I would expect, honestly, maybe even these lows to be swept. But you see, that formed from this range, just being able to tell that this range probably wasn't going to hold, right? If equilibrium's not going to work, and then we're just going to scroll right through. Unless, obviously, we're going to accumulate. But accumulation, that comes with time, and New York Open does not accumulate. Right, New York Open does not accumulate, so, right, that's what we're going to see, but that does technically work. So now, that doesn't hold any effect over me, and we're just going to be watching. As for CL, we're doing something sort of similar, right? As for our opens, we do have our true day open. Where is that? All right, yeah, so we do have our true day open all the way up here. We have a relatively bearish day to start hunting that liquidity level, I would say. I would say overall we're hunting that liquidity. We found it and we took it out, so I'd expect price to now sort of start to expand higher. We'll see how that actually does form. On here, it looks like these are just going to be some continuation candles forming, right? So entering on this candle's open, how it trades back up, and it should trade lower, right? So in that 3 minute, we should have some sort of potential continuation model, right, where we can trade back to equilibrium and then out. Okay, we're just going to be watching NQ now. Right, I'm going to be expecting that pullback into this FVG, right, 5 minute fair value gap. But we're going to run some of those, right? This doesn't happen immediately, so just be careful. Alright, coffee's already fucking cold. You. Alright, already all these wicks to the downside are telling me price is gonna trade higher, so closure above here means we're gonna trade up to this fair value gap probably. Right, so as we see this, look as this breaker block forms. Alright, this is going to be a breaker block entry if we get that. Alright, watch this as the trading range. Watch this as a trading range. Right, not getting respected at all. Still could get respected. We still could drop down lower, but we don't want to see closure above. So we're still selling off. We'd like to see a chain state, some sort of delivery. Okay, yes, the silver's going to trade higher from here. So oil, right? We want to see that change as well. Obviously not. Okay, so this, yeah, you could be long here. Yeah. I mean, I should be long. Right, it's obviously showing the ability to want to go higher. Alright, some of them took liquidity. So overall this does look pretty high probability. So we hop on MNQ. Alright, we're doing this simply just show what it's like. I'd be expecting this chain to stay delivered to hold. Prices expansion to the upside. Right, although we did sweep this liquidity level, I would be looking for it to be traded right through. Yep, as it is there. So that's kind of that power of three. This is one of the trades where I would just let this thing run because this account is just a eval. So I low-key do need to get all the way up here if I want that trade to really matter. So sell one, stop all the way down here. If you want to come down and tap me out, you can do that. So obviously here, this could have been a very high probability play if we did this on minis, right? This is a $96 trade right here, but you see if we did this with minis, this would have been a $960 trade, right? So nothing to be annoyed about there. All right, look how we're trading now at this trade. Sorry, I don't know what that was. At this equilibrium, right? We're obviously not respecting it. So I'm still expecting these highs to be ran eventually. Right, so I would be looking for up here to be ran. Which you might say it's a little crazy, but I don't really care. 3 minute, I mean, if, okay, let's say expansion is going to be treated to the upside, then this level must hold, and we must be trading and respecting that 0.5 of the range, right? To be fair, it does look like we're disrespecting it, right? We have to be unbiased here. But this is the wick right now on that 30-minute chart, so that wick could still be respecting this 0.5 level right here. These wicks traded through just like this one is, but now we're trading a little bit lower. As for MNQ, right, let's say we do sort of see a retracement. This retracement is not, I'm not going to let it just sort of trade to that level. We would need to respect this fair value gap. And something that doesn't respect this fair value gap, I'm taking it short. Right? If we inverse this fair value gap, oh, brother, I'm going short. Right? It does depend on the reaction to the fair value gap. 186, 176, yeah. Probably going to see a retracement back in now. Look how quick that was. Boom. Look at that. So there's probably news there or something, but that's pretty interesting. Right, got stopped out for like a little profit there. I mean, I guess. I don't really think so. Yeah, not really. But you see, as we come in, we do respect that 0.5 level, obviously. But greater than that, we're not able to have that be a winning trade. But that's okay. I do want to wait for something that may be a little bit higher probability, where I can enter a lot larger of my portion, my position on that 5 minute. Right, we're still just reacting to that level. Closure above though could really put us in for longs, because then we would see some sort of retracing it back in to this level. So it doesn't really matter the fair value gap that we're in anymore, right? For oil, yeah, just continue respecting that thing, yo, and it should be good. Okay, where the fuck did that come from? See, this is why it's a little bit crazy of a market. If this does close above, then you could see that for longs, right? It should work. So that should work for longs, right? If you put your stop loss, if you enter in there, you pretty much run this. Like, it's not going to be the most clean trade, so we'll just have to see how that works out for the few who take it. All right, yep. So it's not looking that clean there. I'm really looking oil for this long. This long could be good on oil. Right, remember it depends on the range, right? Respect the 0.5 level of that range. I would really like to see, although we're already not. And then respect this fair value gap, so change state delivery would put me into that trade. As we can see, this probably will work, and realistically this should work up to this external high right here, and in which we could start to look for longs outside of it, I would say. We'll hop on a 1 minute. This is our first presented fair value gap, right? So we'll just toss that out, right? Because it's our first presented fair value gap, and we know how those hold, right? Wait for this to hold. Silver, what are you doing? Silver, I mean, we're starting to see that hourly wick form to the upside, so that's kind of what the trader wanted. HO's trading lower, trading below the low, so RB probably is too. RB is not even at, or it is at 0.5, but traded into 0.5, but we would like to see that level hold. HO taking out the low CL. Let's see us hold that SMT. I know there's good probability we don't just hold that SMT, right? I obviously see that working. This continuously should work to the upside. Right, meaning my trade from down here should have worked to the upside as well if I didn't move my stop. Right, I just barely got stopped out. And if I entered in higher position, so I mean it's good. You could enter like literally just full port the account right now. Yeah, you probably could do that. full port the account. Full port, full port, full port, full port, full port, full port. Just wait for it to fucking blast right through. Incoming. And that is just beautiful. So look how price. I know so many gurus are going to be posting about this. But at the end of the day, I was the motherfucker who called this shit. Right? I called that. Nobody else did. I said I wanted to see this liquidity ran. I saw this move lower. I saw these wicks. Saw that breaker block entry. Saw this fair value gap get respected. The closure above puts you in the trade. Saw that low resistance liquidity get absolutely ran. So that's beautiful. Makes me horny if you did not know. So we're going to go and look now. What are we doing? What is our trading range? And as you can see, it's a little bit harder because now our only trading range is probably going to be if this regular trading hours fair value gap, first presented fair value gap, because we're not going to take one of these trading ranges because that's not really our trading range. All right. If we take this trading range, doesn't really matter. We're in that relative 0.5 level, but it doesn't matter right now. All right, so nothing on there. On here, we're probably going to run a lot realistically. All right, so now we have longs on NQ. At least up that 15-minute. So basically the idea is that the wick on that 15-minute chart should form right around here. On that 4-hour chart, however, coming into the close, I'd like to close above here. That'd be nice. Right? Let's look for that. Looking for that wick to form here. Wouldn't really want that just to be the wick. Would maybe want some waddle to form within there. But I'm gonna go take a shit. Right, so price is starting to trade out of there. I would be looking for anything really just to be able to turn around and target. Just presenting a fair value gap. Jesus, is almost too clean. Right, with that hour open. Straight higher, straight higher. And here, yeah, we're gonna take the low out. That's fine. We would just need to continue watching. There would just be nothing for now. Yeah, I would be waiting obviously for that flip. So now we trade into that level. What was that level? Is that for the 4 hour? CASD. Right, if that 4 hour does close bearish, you couldn't, or I'm bullish, you couldn't really be bearish off of it. That goes crazy over there. And nothing there, and nothing there.